state funding, so that's why we raised the cap to $6 million. So
you're telling me that
for the most part,
they come in on budget?
for the most part, the project, the state contribution cap of $6 million allows us to contribute 85% of the project cost.
That's not my question. My question is, what's the average total cost, including the grant money and monies that the counties have to kick in when those grant monies run out, the average cost of the restoration of the courthouse in Texas?
I haven't done that exact calculation, but the average cost is under $6 million
I disagree
plus
with you.
six.
I went to Cuero, and they got their $6 million grant. I was there last year, and they'd already spent the $6 million. They'd already spent, the total cost of that building was almost at $9 million when I was there, and they still weren't done.
That was an extensive project. I would not say that represents the average. It was extremely extensive. They had very little interior fabric that remained from the original building, and there was a lot of reconstruction required.
I would like to see the commission start maintaining that kind of data, because I think it's real-time data. I think it would have an impact on whether or not we decide, or any other county would decide to take on a project like that, because it gives them an idea of what they're going to have to put up to matching funds to complete the project.
The majority of the projects are done for under the $6 million plus the local match, sir.
I still believe it would be a nice data to have rather than guessing.
This project has been estimated. The cost of it has been
I
estimated.
understand. That building next door was estimated too. And as much as the Historical Society would like to distance themselves from that building, they were the major supporters of that building next door, and that thing is going to go at least $3 million over budget.
We don't have any role on it.
You don't have anything to do with that, right?
Ms. Fleming, I have a question real quick, and it kind of is with what he was talking about. He's comparing, us, the average to the Cuero Courthouse. Is the Cuero Courthouse about the same size as what we are, or was it in worse condition? Like you were saying that there's a lot of stuff that had to be changed? Because that's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. I don't think, unless it's pretty much very similar, you can't, if it's the same square footage and everything is the same, you can kind of compare it. But I don't know the size of that courthouse.
And I'm sorry, we have over 134 master plans that have been submitted, and we're working, there are 235 historic county courthouses in Texas. I don't know the square footage of,
But I think it's bigger than
of each. I think it is. It's a bigger building, and it was a more extensive project. It's an older building, I believe. I'm sorry,
It has a clock tower as well.
It has a clock
It
tower.
has a clock that they've spent a lot of money, I believe, on that clock tower and all the gears and.
Thank you.
I gotta go further. The courthouse authority, Judge Ellen told us that he was really concerned that they have termites, that they're trying to spot treat in there, and that there's a major concern about termites and things happening in there. So, and that's we want to do everything up before. I mean, that's a lot of money to spend if you've got little people eating it.
Well, and we have.
Eating it.
Do you mind if I reply?
No,
Respond
go
to you
ahead. That's what you're doing.
that one of our commissioners that was on the committee to award these grants had the same concern. He didn't want us to walk away from counties after we had made major investments, counties had made major investments, and so we created the Courthouse Stewardship Program. It's not funded by the legislature. We don't have FTEs to staff it, but we do have.
Please explain FTE. I know.
Sorry,
that
full-time employee. But we have dedicated a full-time employee, a registered architect with 35 years experience, to work with counties after they have restored the building, and we hold annual trainings that we invite the county judge or county official and a technical person on staff to come so that we can continue to talk to them about making sure the windows are repainted every 10 years and what to do if they find these sorts of problems. We actually had a bug treatment expert as one of our speakers at our last workshop.
Seeing how Judge Shaw just brought up termites, I've always heard, and I heard it from an architect, okay, that termites wouldn't eat wood once it got so old. That's not true?
I've never heard that. No, I mean.
Well, that's my brother-in-law.
understanding is that your, since 2000, what y'all's desire is to offer at least 85% of the cost from your monies.
Yes.
And that the counties come up with as little as 15%. Sometimes it's over budget, and the counties do have to come up with more. Do you have any idea, have you ever seen a county have to come up with more than 50%?
Harris County,
Okay.
they have a $45 million courthouse restoration.
But majority
We're
of the
only
time,
contributing 5.
the majority of the time though, it's at least y'all are covering more than 50% of the cost
Yes,
to restore a beautiful
yes.
courtroom or courthouse when it's all said and done. So if you don't receive this money, we're going to maybe not have a restored courthouse to what it used to be, but I just wonder if we have comparison before we make these decisions, how much would it cost if we're getting 85% of the cost?
Well, and let me be clear, for the sake of being upfront here, the 85% figure was asked of me, and this grant award was made on a 2/3, 1/3 basis. Our previous award, which was an emergency award, was made on a 2/3, 1/3 basis. And the way your project estimate has been prepared and what we have remaining to give after we give the $617,000 would be a 2/3, 1/3.
Yes, okay, that's what I was
Okay,
trying to.
so what we have remaining would be 5.2 million roughly, and the county match for what is estimated to be a total project cost of, oh, wait a minute, I have that right here, of 7.4, the county share would be roughly 2 million.
And we would be receiving from y'all over 5 million.
With a future award from the Texas Historical Commission of 5.28. So, yes, I'm sorry if I didn't want to mislead you to say that that's an 85% share. That's the way the program is set up, but because your total project cost is as high as it is, we would be limited to about a 2/3, 1/3 match on the future phase.
Thank you.
Question with regard to something that was brought up earlier, unfunded mandates. What would we be looking at in terms of trying to do any repairs and things of that nature to the courthouse? And who gets to dictate that information and the things that would be changes such as the annex building? Who approves the plans for that to exist on the square?
The annex building?
Yeah.
Technically, that's not considered to be on the square, because historically you had a street that ran just opposite this street. So technically, it's not on the square, and that was one of the reasons why it was approved by my office.
Okay, and how do we get around the repairs that y'all would mandate that we have to do that
You
we
want
may or
to
may not
avoid
have funds
repairing the
available to do?
Well, repairs to the building, I think, are in the county's interest. As I mentioned earlier, we've worked with counties to repair their buildings. This county has granted us an easement, so they did commit to keeping the building in good repair from this point forward.
And
And the stewardship of this building is the county's responsibility. The state doesn't maintain city halls. We don't take over courthouses. It is the county's courthouse, and it's the county's obligation and responsibility to maintain.
But it's my understanding that basically really someone can't even paint a wall in the building unless they have approval. I mean, I know that's taking it to the extreme, but what I'm asking is, in terms of doing those kinds of repairs, are y'all going to dictate what has to be done? I mean, we say keep it in as good a condition as possible. That would make sense for anyone, but.
Right, and we're working cooperative with you. As I said, we worked together with the counties for 25 years before we had grant money. We understand that y'all try to do the best you can. You're trying to create a positive environment for the people that work in this building to the best of your abilities. So I'm an architect. I'm available to come down to talk to you, to work with you. one-on-one for small projects, or if there's a larger project envisioned by the county, you have to replace a roof, and you bring in an architect, I'll review those plans, and we'll all come to some agreement.
I have one question. Where does grant money come from?
Since 2000, the state legislature has appropriated funding for our grant program out of general revenue, except for the time when they tried to make it available through TxDOT, and that didn't really work.
But it's still taxpayers' money.
Yes, sir.
So if they dissolve all the grant monies throughout the whole United States, how many millions of dollars would they save?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Maybe
Grants
it's
are
pretty
only
deep.
in Texas. This is only a Texas historic courthouse
But if they
preservation.
eliminated all the grant money that is produced and the committees that are running the grant money, how much money would they save?
We've distributed $220 million to counties over the past 10, 11 years, and our administrative costs are less than 2.5%.
So if they refunded that money back to the people,
200
through
million.
taxes. In other words, we're being taxed and you're telling us how to spend our tax dollars.
I'm not, sir, I'm just administering a grant agreement. That decision was
No
made by
matter
the
how,
state
no matter how it's
legislature.
done, it's gonna cost the citizens of Karnes County lots of money to restore this courthouse. It's gonna cost money to maintain it. It hadn't been maintained properly, and we're gonna have to pay for it, whether it's from county tax money or whether it's from private donations. And we'll probably have to come up with private donations to save this courthouse. It's gonna take lots of money.
I believe so.
Yes, Dr.
Yes, I'd like to address the maintenance program. We have a commissioner in the B building, Commissioner Carlos Salazar. I believe you worked with him. And just to check my figures on the maintenance of our courthouse, I talked to him day before yesterday, and he's offered his